Yeah. So I'm just going to make the stairs 1100 total width, and then the tread depth just 250 for now. So that's all I need to know to go and make my stair. And then back in the ground floor plan, I'll start this, even though the one with the image, so that would be fine to start there. And so then, just using again stair by sketch. So that's the main tip I can give you with the stair tool. Try stair by component. It does a lot of nice things, especially just so I can maybe give you an idea why it can be good for spiral stairs. Right, if you need to do, normally what people think of when they say spiral stair is these full spirals, or spirals that go essentially over the top of the first step, and then it's got that pre-made tool for that kind of spiral. So that's handy, and it gives you a bit more control over landings as well, which can be nice. But otherwise, stair by sketch. It's probably a bit more consistent and definitely easier to adjust when you need to make changes. So if I use stair by sketch, then again, remembering those properties. So the tread depth, 250, I'll keep it at that, and then the width is 1100. So then it's good also to have an idea about your heights. So looking at the plan there, I can count the rises, and that's really what I'll have to do there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the landing, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22 for the floor. So 22 rises, and we've got desired number there on 24, which means that the stair there with a 190 riser height is not going to give us enough, or it's going to give us too many treads. So if I change that to 22, it'll give me an error telling me that the actual riser height is greater than the maximum. So that tells you this stair is illegal by today's standards, but that's the way it was built, and there are plenty like that around town. I lived in a house for years with 250 risers, and it was fine, absolutely fine. No one even noticed. Right? Yeah, well, no, that's the tread depth. But yeah, so oh no, can't live at 24. We've got to make the number of stairs that are there. So we've got to make Revit give it to us. So if I go to Edit Type, you can see here the maximum riser height is 190. That's why it's limited. So I've got to duplicate, and I'm going to call this non-standard stair. And then I can change the maximum riser height, and I'll make that, say, 220. Right, we've got to remember that's not legal. We can't do a new stair ever that is that height, but plenty of existing stairs are. So now I can change it to 22. It's going to give me an actual riser height of 207. That's what it is. Okay, so then just a few tricks when you go to draw your stairs. It's on the Run tool, so I'm just using Run with straight lines. And a good trick with stairs is to not try to make them in place. If you've set up all the lines, so if you've made the reference planes and established exactly where that stair should go, and I mean exactly, then do it there. But otherwise, it's actually easier to do it somewhere else, just adding space to the side. And that way you're going to avoid snapping to things that you don't want. Because you've got to check that it's going in even increments, so there it's snapping, you can see, in steps. So I want, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, which is 5 rises. And so that should be 1,000 exactly. And then my landing, I don't really care how long the landing is, I just need a landing. I can work out the length properly later. So I'm just going to make sure it goes in a straight line from that blue line coming above. I'm going to click a point so that it lines up with that, and then I can take it through and do the remaining all remaining rises. So taking it to the end of that rectangle and then just clicking somewhere above is going to give me that. And now I can just select that whole sketch. So I've finished my sketch, I'll press Escape to make sure, and then I'm going to select all of those lines with a window, click on the move button, and then snap to the right hand side, and then I'm going to snap to the wall. I don't really even mind if it's not vertically where it needs to be, as long as it's on that wall edge somewhere. So this side of the stair touches the wall. That's really the most important thing. And now, just using the arrows on the keyboard, I'm going to nudge that so that it's in position based on my drawing underneath. And now I want to move the top part of that. So again, I'm just going to deselect and then select with the window left to right to get the top flight, but not the landing, so, or the bottom flight. And then again, using the arrows on the keyboard, I'll nudge that so that it lines up. Now it's being a bit difficult because it's moving the bottom flight there, which it really shouldn't. So so it's keeping them joined. So I'm going to try using the move button, and let's see if it will let me do that. Yes. Okay, so no, it's not. That's annoying. Okay, so what can I do here? If I try stretch, it might be... No. That's a bit annoying. Okay, so you should be able to nudge. I'm just going to try something else. I'm going to delete this, the top part. So just using the window, I'll delete that, which unfortunately has left the landing there. So I'll delete that. And look, what I was just showing you, that will work normally to adjust just one flight within a stair. The reason it was giving me trouble is because it's all in a straight line, and Revit has a bit of an issue with things like that. It thinks you want to keep them joined. So anyhow, the trick there would be just to get the first flight where you want it to go, and then use the run tool again to draw in the second part starting on the sketch. But again, most important, make sure you line up with the flight below using that extension line that will come up, and then continue on from there. So that should work pretty well. And for this stair, I'd say the timber one that you start with, and that's what I duplicated to make the non-standard stair, that will be fine. So if I finish this now, back in the, well, I've got the 3D cutaway view where I should be able to see it pretty clearly. And for once, that railing isn't the worst thing in the world for this stair, but you should be able to get a better one. If you, again, just to remind you how to get railings and stairs. Open, not load. And with stairs, you've got to remember that the stair by sketch stairs are different to the new ones. So you can't go to the new metric library and sample files. Right, there are stairs there, but they're the new kind. If you're using stair by sketch, use the Revit library that we have here. Instead, go to sample files there. Looks the same, but it's different. So here, stairs, it's the file I'm opening. Okay, so I can copy and paste my stairs easily from here. I want railings though, and there are only a couple of railings here. So I'll go to open again and choose railings. With railings, it doesn't matter which version you open, they're all the same. This is the old one, but it's the same as the new one. And while that's doing what it needs to, just again think about what's above the stairs and also the beam. So the reason the beam comes across here is so that you can get headroom from that point onwards above that stair, and that's why the landing is there as well. You wouldn't normally need to have it that way. Okay, so all you need here is a timber balustrade that looks old-fashioned, essentially. So it wouldn't really matter which, but this one here is close enough. So I'll just choose it, and to get into my project file, Control-C, or copy to clipboard, Control-Tab, back into your project, Control V to place, and then delete. So now in my list, residential, timber, newel and spines. What are we? No, spindles. Timber, newel. Yep. I'd probably take the newels out, those newel posts, eventually, but it's not bad to have that detail because it is pretty similar to that stair, I think. And so then we've got the floor above, where we need to think about, again, what's happening with the structure there. So if you want to get really carried away with it, you can put in the blocking pieces that they'd have behind that stair, so to get the joists in there, or to support those joists that have some sort of timber piece that comes along the front there, and the stair, well, they'd have to do all sorts of things, but as long as it looks believable. So you just want to make sure that the joists there at least go up to that stair. So looking in the ground floor, the ground floor ceiling plan, I can see my outline of my stair there. So you've got to remember as well that these joists will come back. Well, I'll start with the first one on the wall. So they'll come all the way back to the beam. Okay, so these need to come back so that we've got headroom over the stair. That one can stay. And then I can copy both of those. Just using the copy button, pick them up at the bottom, snap it onto the stair, and again just stretch them down. Okay, so I've made a gap in my floor structure for the stair, but then I need to also cut a hole in the floor itself. So select the floor there.
How do you know how much space you'll use?
I'll just cut around the stair.
But all the way around? Or
Yeah, right around the edge of it. So,
like how many stairs do you have to come up?
oh well, here we know because we've got the beam there, so we'll just leave all of that room. But if you need to work it out, yeah, that's a really good thing to be thinking about actually, because yeah, that is exactly the process you'd go through. You'd draw in the section to this point, and then if I look in that section now, I can work out where 2 meters below this, well, actually the joist is what we'd need. So with reference plane, it can help just to set that out, and then I'll move that down like 2 meters. Okay, so it's basically at that step. So we could really, in theory, have the floor going up to about there. But, you know, we've got the beam there, so it wouldn't hurt to just take it back to that. And, well, that's what they've done in real life. So, so again, here in the ceiling plan, I can simply select that floor, edit boundary, and then just with pick lines, pick the edge of the stair. And it's the outer edge, because remember your railing will also have to go through the floor. You don't want your railing blocked by the floor. And then again here the floor can stop right on the edge of that beam. And then we split, break the line, and then trim away. Yeah, so tick to finish. So I can see the gap there pretty clearly now in my section as well. Should be fairly clear what's happening, and doesn't hurt to check the 3D view. Oops. See that it's all looking right. So, like I was saying, the blocking pieces could be good, and if you've got an exposed floor structure, we're going to leave it exposed. It's a simple thing just to copy this box and put it at 90 degrees for that. So I'll just do that, or yeah, I'll copy this one. You could put a new one in, but then you'd have to set the height again, so it's easier to copy one that's already there because they're at the right height. Okay, so I can rotate that 90 degrees. I just use space to do that. Move it in under the beam. Also it's sitting right on top of the beam. And then just stretch the ends. Okay, I can't see through the beam anymore, so I'm going to go to wireframe to do that. There we are. So just having that piece there, no, it might seem like a little thing, but you almost certainly are going to have perspective views that show the stairs. And it's one of those obvious details people often forget about. And for interiors, these are the sort of details that people often will pick up on, or to give you a chance to at least do something about it. So you see the stair there cut away on this level, and now I can copy it to the upper level. So with copy to clipboard, paste, align to selected levels, and then you can choose levels 1 and 2. You can't use the multi-story option here. So you might have noticed or seen with other things, when you select any stair, you've got the option of setting multi-story to go to a higher level. And that's often a good way of doing stairs through multiple stories. But when they're different heights, that option doesn't work. So it's only when you've got multiple stories that are the same height. Otherwise, you need to use this method I'm using, copy it, and then paste them aligned to the levels you want. So then in my 3D view, you can see now it's put the stairs in, the new stairs. But just like the structure that we copied before, it'll use the height it had on the ground floor. So properties, I can just fix that up. It's going between levels 1 and 2, so the top offset can just be put back to 0, and that will take it to that level. And then the same with the next one. Then the floor, that should be fairly easy to replicate because you can just copy and paste. Okay, so I've copied the floor there over the original one, so I'll delete that. And, well, the joists, it's probably easy to copy those as well, but see how you go. And I'll just delete those for now. Yeah, probably just copy the ones from the level below. And then the same with the floor above. So that last floor, in fact, yeah, well, you want to be able to get up to that. It's just knowing in real life, I think it's got a completely different stair that goes up to that. So we might change that one. But anyhow, that's the main part of it. So at least getting the main things, the ground floor stair, and then the level 1 to level 2 stair, and then having the cutouts in your floor, and then also thinking about how the floor structure will work with that. And so then just to finish that off, I'll put a perspective view in just so you can see. So, yep, this should work pretty well. So they're coming through there now. Should be able to look up. And then just a couple of finishing things that you can see pretty clearly now in the perspective. The railing on the right isn't necessary, so that can just be deleted from each floor. And then in the stair, the stringer on the right isn't needed either, so you can just, again, select the stair, edit type, and then change the right stringer to none. Okay, so that'll take it out of the wall, and that'll be enough for the stairs. You can see there a couple of little things. Those joists could come back a little bit to make the view there a bit nicer. But there are just little finishing things you can do. So otherwise though, once you've got that detail, you can see the space is starting to look like a real thing. So, oh yeah, and then finally that stair, you could also have a look at the materials, but we'll go more into that later. But at least when you've got the stair, have a look at the properties when you go to edit type, and you can see then how those materials are set with the tread and the riser and all those things. But that's plenty. If you make a start on the stair tonight, that'd be great.